All right, guys, welcome to the Media Hijack Podcast. I'm your host, Billy Walters, and joining me is Chris Unholy Jesus.
What is up, everyone?
Welcome back, guys, to another episode of the Media Hijack, episode number 79.
Hell yeah.
Almost 80.
Yes.
All right, guys.
Getting there, man.
Tonight's main topic, we're going to be talking about the Metaverse. We're going to talk about the Metaverse. I'm going to talk about the multiverse. I'm going to talk about Mandela effect, how it happened. I'm going to talk about this new, I wouldn't say theory, but this new shit that I found online, like a transcript of somebody that wrote in 2009.
Oh, yeah, I remember
that
something
predicted
about that.
all of this shit that's happening. Like coronavirus, predicted all the fake news shit happening and everything that's happening now, like the weird anomalies that we're seeing, videos of brooms like floating in the
Sitting in the air.
It looks real, like the reaction and everything of that guy.
Seems legit.
Yeah, so we're seeing a lot of weird videos, and of course they're all not real, but there's so many of them. Like, how can everybody just be playing around?
Yeah, that's like with the video that you sent me with the broom in the sky. At first, I wanted to be like, "Oh shit, this is fake," but then I thought about it, and it's kind of like, "Damn, what if this person was like legit did not know and nobody believes him?" And he's probably like, "Man, what the fuck? Like, I look crazy." Like,
It's legit. He didn't know.
yeah, he seemed like he did not know what was going on. He even got off the vehicle. Like,
Yeah, he was driving a truck too. Like,
Yeah.
he was working.
yeah, he's at the job. Yeah, he's at work or something. So and it's such a random thing. A broom. Why a broom? Could have been anything.
A witch. Shit. All right, guys, before we get started, if you guys want to buy some official Media Hijack t-shirt, Chris has one on right now. You guys can head over to the MediaHijack.com, grab you an official Media Hijack t-shirt, and show it off to your friends.
Yes.
Wear it at your family reunions. Wear it at birthday parties. Wear it when you go buy a new fridge.
Wear it when you bar mitzvah.
Wear it before you pop your cherry.
There you go.
There you go.
Lose your V card.
Yeah, because it's a conversation
It
starter.
is.
You know, like if you're nervous, like hey, they'll ask you questions like, "Hey, what is that? Like,
What is this?
what podcast is that?"
Some kind of movement? Oh, this whole thing? Boom. You're the most popular kid in school now.
Yep. All right, guys. Also, if you guys want to follow us on Reddit, follow our Reddit page, and then just post. You guys can post anything. You guys can post questions about the show. You can post topics you guys want us to cover.
Yes.
Post cool videos, because somebody posted one video where they had like something that was shooting faster than the speed of light underwater,
Oh.
like some plasma shit.
Shell Shock, I think, did that.
That was
It's
crazy.
amazing.
I was like, whoa.
I loved it. Something faster than sound. I mean, faster than light. It was really cool.
It's like, who measured light speed in the first place? How do you measure that?
The distance from the sun to Earth. I guess like
How do you
I'm
measure
assuming
it,
it
though?
started just like, okay, the sun rises at this time. Planet's like this. How long would it take the sun to reach us? And that thing's estimated like 7 minutes. So that's the fastest thing they could detect right now. It's probably way faster shit than light out there, but as far as like most science is like the standard of speed is like light, just because traveling like from that distance from the sun to Earth in 7 minutes is insane. So
So the math has to be very advanced.
yeah. Pretty
Like me and you
specific.
couldn't figure it out.
Nah, this is like, I hope they're not lying to us. 'Cause I hope they're not lying.
Hope they're not playing around.
That's the only thing you can go off of.
That's like the one thing that the whole world can all agree on
What's that?
is mathematics.
Math is
Mathematics,
too-
it doesn't change in any different language, culture, everything. Mathematics is the same throughout every single
What do you call it?
country.
Like a binary language. It's universal for the most part.
Yeah. Even aliens use that shit.
They got to.
Like, how do you know that?
They gave it to us. Of course they use it.
It's numbers. What's the most important number?
0.
0.
I was,
Just say what you're
just
feeling,
say-
man.
I didn't want to
'cause
be
it's
wrong.
right.
I didn't want to be wrong. I was kind of like, it might be 0.
Just say whatever's on your mind. Because usually that's the answer, dude. I was
I was hesitating.
you never hesitate. If you look how fast you said 0, you just said it.
And now I feel better about it because I said 0.
Yeah.
See?
That's how like I want to be like if I were taking a test, I was like, just go whatever the fuck you feel. Because usually when I fail tests, I think too much.
Yes, I'm overthinking it, and I was like, and there's so many times where where I was like, you know what? I was gonna pick B. I was looking right at B, but I kept questioning myself and I kept redoing the question over again in my head, and then I made me pick C. Like I should have just went with my first gut action.
Yeah.
So there we go. Look at us.
All right, guys. Also, don't forget to rate and subscribe. Give us the 5 stars on iTunes. It's so simple. Just go scroll down, hit the 5 stars, and leave a comment.
Yeah.
Comments help.
Yes.
Yes.
And let us know what kind of course corrections we need to make. So course corrections that we need to make too. So I mean, it's good input. So
Yeah, give us advice,
yeah.
not feedback.
Yeah, there you go.
I want advice. Because that's something we can fix
Yes.
for the future.
Growth. I agree.
Yeah. All right, guys, let's get into the metaverse. So what exactly is the metaverse? You know, people think that Mark Zuckerberg is creating the metaverse, but he's not creating the metaverse. That's why he didn't call Facebook metaverse. He just said meta.
Yeah.
Because the metaverse already exists.
Yeah, this is
It's like everything that we're doing digitally, like playing games online, that will be part of the metaverse. Buying, purchasing cryptocurrency, that's part of the metaverse.
metaverse, yeah.
Everything we do online where we're doing digital transactions,
Yeah.
buying NFTs, doing everything online would be the metaverse.
Yeah, because it's because you got to think about like how I remember when I was looking this up, it explained that okay, so this is our universe that we live in, and then we live in also a part of a bigger continuity, I guess you would say, called the multiverse. So all this other stuff exists out there, but we're creating like with the metaverse, it's like humans are creating a second reality,
Something within
the reality that
the
we already
reality
exist in.
that
Yes.
existed, yes.
Yeah, so it's a man-made reality, if you will,
There you
within
go.
a bigger scope of even our like, you know what I'm saying? It's like it's layers to the realities, and
So that's what Mark Zuckerberg is trying to do. He's trying to claim that space now. Like, I'm going to build on top of the metaverse. Because guess what? I have Facebook, and guess what? We have all
I'm
these
God.
millions and billions of people already signed up.
I am God. I can do what I want.
It's so wild, man.
But it came out at an interesting time too, because I think was it last month or the month before, that lady that was a whistleblower who came out against Facebook. She was talking about how, yeah, Facebook has basically almost probably, and but the Facebook papers came out, and I was reading about it yesterday and a couple days ago. I was like, holy fuck, Facebook has been a good thing, but it's also been it's been horrible on so many levels. I was reading some shit to where Facebook may have started like genocides in other countries because weird shit. But so I feel like this is like a rebranding of the companies. Like, look, we got all this Facebook papers just came out. The PR looks really bad that we just let this platform that started off for like college kids get way out of control. This is our rebranding. We're gonna take it back a little bit. We're gonna engage you in a different angle, I guess. But because it's almost seeming like they're trying to wipe the slate clean of all this bad shit Facebook has become, and this is this brand new layer, I guess, if you will.
You think that's what they're doing?
This is definitely like a PR thing. I see it like I see it on a.
So what about like the old people that just got on the Facebook?
Oh, this
Like,
ain't for them.
how would they
This ain't
even
for-
keep up?
This ain't for them. This is for that, because if you notice too,
So they're building it for the brand new generation.
yes, because that's one thing I noticed is with Facebook and you say have something like Instagram, even though they're all owned by the same people, Instagram is mainly operated by younger people, and a lot of older people do not go on Instagram because it's too complicated for them. It's kind of like leaving them. It kind of leaves like Facebook is mainly like older folks that can operate the shit. It's basic learning stuff, like simply sharing a post or whatever. It seems like it's a lot more easy accessible for older people to like just use. Instagram's a little bit more advanced, and Twitter is just like. I mean, some people on Twitter is kind of like a mixed bag, but it just shows like the more it keeps advancing, they're gonna. This is I cannot see older generation like of boomers using this at all. Like, and I think it's supposed to be within the next decade. They're trying to build this up. This isn't like going to be immediately. This is going to be the
Yeah, it's gonna be one of those things where Mark Zuckerberg, they're teaming up with a whole bunch of big companies like Nike. He was teaming up with this company called Matterport, which is a company like they do like 3D design work for
Okay.
like real estate. So they
nice.
would map out houses in 3D, then you're able to look at the house you're purchasing like all in 3D. Like they have that shit down packed. So Matterport is like one of the companies that you should invest in now before this whole metaverse shit starts kicking.
off.
because I think it's like maybe $20 or something. But Matterpoint right now you can buy on Robinhood, and I think this is going to be one of the companies that's going to explode later once the metaverse starts kicking in, and then people start understanding the concept of the idea of what Mark Zuckerberg is actually trying to do, because he's smart. He's thinking of the future. Like, he's thinking of the young generation, because that's how you're supposed to think. If you're like an entrepreneur, if you want to keep making money, you don't think about the old people, because they're out the door already.
Yeah, they're kind of like out their time zone. We got to think about how society is moving and what we... we have to predict where society is going to move, and we need to figure out how to make it easier for them if they're going to move in this direction. There was one thing I noticed, right? All right, story time. Okay, at my job right now, and I never realized this until a couple days ago. They're about to start bringing people back to my job again. This whole COVID shit. They're going to start bringing back people in. They got like phases set up for it. Now, what I didn't know until last week or a couple days ago, whenever it was, this entire year, they left it optional if people want to come to work or not. They weren't forcing people to stay home. They was leaving it optional for people if they want to come in. And this entire year at my job, I've seen almost nobody come in at all. It's all been voluntarily. Like, hey, come back whenever you want. Work some days at the office. Nobody's been coming back. What I also noticed too with Meta, what they're trying to do is that they're trying to create this weird world where now it's VR workspace. It's like, this is your desk, this is your stuff. You touch your supervisor. They see like as the future goes on, because a lot of companies that work in these buildings don't own these buildings. They're like, it's rented out to them, the space and everything, and they're paying for the contract fees of it and whatnot. I think with the whole COVID thing is, a lot of these companies see like, hey, it's kind of cheaper if they just stay home. It saves that we ain't got to pay no water bill.
It is.
No electricity. People ain't getting fucking engine falling down steps. Like medical, the bigger scheme of it is a lot cheaper for these companies to probably do it at home. What I did notice though with Meta is that it seemed like they're going to be doing like surveillance on you a lot more. It's very weird.
It's already happening.
Yeah, and it's kind of like we live in a world of you're being watched. Either you're going to be like, I was going to feel like this. It's like a porn star, maybe. You just got to get used to people watching you when you do weird shit. If you can, you got to get past that. And once you do, but
I'm used to it. Like, we're doing it right now.
We're doing it right now.
Watch us, Facebook.
But I noticed that Meta is starting to realize that, hey, the future is going to be more people. There's people working from home and all this other stuff. It's almost universally, everybody wants to work from home now. People are sick of coming to work, sitting in traffic, paying gas, getting stressed out. They're noticing that work productivity is getting better. People less stressed out. They're not getting pulled off their tasks to go deal with some bullshit. From, you know what I'm saying?
It's less stress. Yeah. I know a lot of people that work from home and they love that shit.
Everybody knows like they don't want to come back.
One main thing that they like, they don't have to deal with that morning traffic.
Yeah,
they're like, they don't have to worry about that shit. They don't have to worry about sleeping late. Like, they're cool working from home because they wake up. They're cool. Like, whatever. We'll get the day started.
I've seen some people that start when they started working from home, they be on the computer like, okay, well, I'm done with all my tasks. I'm caught up for a second. I'm gonna go walk the dog right quick. I'm gonna go walk around the block, do something, and I'm gonna come back and finish up over the block. It's showing that if you give people a little bit more like wiggle room and just let them work, it's showing that, hey, nobody wants to go be at work for 8 to 12 hours and then come home and have to deal with shit that they could have taken care of when they was at home. Whether it's washing dishes or something, maybe even taking a shit. Some people don't like taking shit at work, but you know what I'm saying? I think it's a more comfortable environment for a shit ton of people, and
it saves the world.
Pollution's down. So.
Less people are dying from accidents.
Yes, and I think with Meta, at least from a aspect, they're trying to create something that companies are probably going to jump on. Like, you know what? Like, makes our employees happy. Shit is getting done. We'll hop onto this, and I think it's going to just wind up becoming the Meta is becoming the first part of creating a new virtual workspace. I think
any big tech company right now, like in Silicon Valley and whatever. They're all already doing everything digitally, like with the whole Zoom thing, with the whole Oculus Quest stuff, where they're sitting at a round table and they're having meetings all digitally. Yeah. They're using the little avatar. They've been doing this before. Mark Zuckerberg even said this shit.
Oh, yeah.
Like the whole Metaverse shit, they've been trying to do this forever now. Remember PlayStation Home?
Yeah.
They tried it. they're trying to create their own virtual reality
Xbox was
world.
doing that shit too with
Everybody was doing it.
Was it 360 or Xbox One? They did like the little camera thing, and it's like it was like touch screen on the damn.
So everybody was on that bus, like they want to get in that space. But now Facebook, since they bought Oculus is going to be like the gateway to actually puncture through, the metaverse, to actually create a world within the metaverse and shit.
We make it way more like
to make it more like
these phones. It's like no,
we don't need them.
These phones are done. We got this headset.
Yeah, you're gonna have like
slap it on you.
You're gonna have glasses, right? Where it's gonna be like augmented glasses where you can see like stats of everything. Like if I'm looking at you, I'll be like, oh, 3 stars. He forgot to pay his bill.
Oh, this is it.
He jaywalked 12 times last year. Got arrested for drunk driving.
What did he look up last night on the internet? Oh my god.
3 stars. Oh my. They don't like him. Yeah, it's gonna be just
society hates you.
Social credit, man.
You're trash. Because they already been doing it with Uber and shit. You can see like I think Uber drivers can see your rating as a person and their rating as a driver. It's a digital judgment system. But whatever helps. But I do feel like Facebook needed a rebranding though. I'm gonna get it dark for a second, all right? I'm gonna get a little dark for a second.
Get dark.
I feel like Facebook needed this rebranding because I didn't realize that. This is what I think about Facebook, right? I think Facebook is the most influential thing that's happened to humanity in about 20 years. It's made so much shit happen, both good and bad. And I think it's gotten so massive that I don't even think Mark Zuckerberg or anybody else really knows how to deal with it. I remember last year not last year, like a couple months ago, whenever it was, when the Facebook papers came out, and there was all these people that worked at Facebook, right? Just working at grinding. They would make complaints to, Zuckerberg and friends at the top. It was like, hey, like we're noticing an uptick of hate crimes because, it's being almost filtered through Facebook. We maybe need to get on top of this and kind of like police this site ASAP. And Zuckerberg and people top are like, bro, just let's maximize profit. Let it happen. And they create the problems. It was kind of like letting shit happen, and they weren't trying to control the environment.
See, like the whole goal of Facebook or any social media is to keep every single user
engaged,
glued to the screen at the whole time.
To the maximum. They want the most. They want your entire life.
Yeah, that's why you see stuff about them selling your data. See what you like. See what you don't like. Like for example, right? Let's say you like cats. Well, what better way to get you worked up than to show you a video of somebody torturing cats?
And that's
keep you engaged. The longer they keep you engaged, the more they can show you ads, and that's how they get paid.
Like just because he explained it on was it Capitol Hill or something a couple years ago. Zuckerberg was like, Orrin Hatch, I think his name was. He's a politician, old guy. He's like older than time itself. He was questioning Mark Zuckerberg at Capitol Hill, and he was like, so with Facebook, how do you make your money? And Mark Zuckerberg's like, with ads, sir. He's like, oh, okay, there's no more further questions. Bro, like they're not scamming nobody. They just to ad revenue is what kills it.
Shoddy Rich, what's good, dude? He says been catching up on the podcast. You're in Korea? He says he's in Korea listening to us. Dude, we appreciate you so much.
Hell yes, thank you.
Out there in Korea. Funny thing about Korea, man, I watched a Korean drama for the first time last week. I never watched Korean dramas, but Netflix, they put this one drama like on the front page. I was like, let me just try it.
It's like Squid Games, isn't it?
No, it's not Squid Games.
Okay,
it's like the typical Korean drama.
Okay, gotcha.
So I was watching it, right? And then I got sucked in on it.
The drama.
Right? Yeah, I was like...
the drama.
I was like, it's like Passions time 1,000.
No.
I was watching it, and then like towards the middle of like the whole show, I touched my face. I was like, what the fuck?
Are these real tears?
I was like, are these tears?
For anybody that doesn't know,
I was like, holy shit, this show is that strong. Like they can express like emotion that strong to where I actually felt it. I was like,
that's more than Passions.
Holy shit.
That's more than Passions. Passions has been crazy, but
Passion's kind of plastic.
Yeah, it is. But yes, over time you realize like if you watch the older episodes, you're kind of like, I like this. If anybody doesn't know, Passions was this big ass soap opera that me and Billy got into way back. It was on NBC. Then they showed it like at noon or lunchtime or some shit.
Yeah, The typical soap opera
typical
that
soap
we
opera
got caught
time.
on like during summer vacation.
It had to deal with like witchcraft and all types of shit, like dolls turning into like the kid. The show is insane.
Yeah, it's wild. But yeah, the Korean drama, I had no idea. I thought it was just some corny Twilight shit.
And now here you are.
Here I am, like
on
trying to
it.
get my fix on the next one. I'm like, where's the next good one at? You know? Because after the show was done, right? I was like, fuck, I'm empty. Like I don't.
You don't like what do you do?
I was like, what I do with my life now?
That's why I have this thing now. When I start watching shows and I'm binge watching them, I stop and I never finish the last episode.
Oh shit, you're crazy.
No, because on a psychological level, when I finish the last episode, I start to feel empty. I'm like, I don't know what to fucking do next. So it's almost like I don't want this to end. I've been having a good time.
Yeah. Korean dramas, man.
Yeah, sure.
Sorry if I hated on that shit before. Like,
You did?
I did. I didn't like the characters because they all look like females, and like the dude, I almost didn't watch it because his lips was like all red. I was like, why are his lips red?
Like, but the story is.
But then I watched
fire.
it, then I ignored all that. I was like, what? The story's so good.
They feel like people.
I felt like it was like the like crying, like I'm so happy for them.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, I'm so fucking happy.
They
for these.
deserve this.
I was like, holy shit. He was a good guy the whole time. I was like, damn.
He's like, this shit needs to happen in real life.
I paused it. I was like, what the fuck is happening?
What am I? Is this feelings? Is
I
that
was
what I'm
like,
feeling?
why, but I was like, what's happening? Fuck this show. Oh yeah, let's continue.
Got me crying. All right, back to Facebook. All right. So also, also too, when I was reading about some stuff about Facebook and doing the Facebook papers and all that, not only did they ignore a lot of shit, they was doing like experiment. I don't care what anybody calls it. They started doing experiments on people. Unknowingly, it could. I think you and me, been in on it, but they started doing things where they noticed, like, you know what? Let's take this amount of people, and then we'll just flood their timeline with just shit that we know that's going to trigger them. And their goal is to see if you're going to do a Facebook status post about it, and to make you react to it, and then start a conversation or argument. But it's like we're going to try to push people to their fucking limit and see what's going to really get them to argue with other people. And they started doing it. They would just pick out random people and just like flood their feed with just wild shit to where it's probably destroyed families.
Yeah,
on
this
some
is
level
the
with
thing
arguments.
where it comes up to the point where like you don't even know if the news is real anymore.
Yes, you got to question it. That's a problem.
Yeah, like how I was talking about either last week or a few weeks ago, I was talking about how the internet is dead, and a lot of the media is being generated automatically by like artificial intelligence, and they're generating a whole bunch of fake news just to target certain individuals that would react to it. Did you hear about so and so and this? Like they did all this crazy stuff to these people, and then they're like, okay, cool. Like the news was fake in the first place, right? But they got so many people to react to it and shit. Like it end up, but then when it end up coming out to where the news end up being fake, like, oh, this shit's fucking bogus, you know?
Oh yeah.
By the time, like a few days later, that shit already weeded out where you can't even find that article no more. And then it's the next big story.
Yeah, it's like, and then before you can even get to the bottom of it, it's like, oh, something new, and then, fuck,
Kids in cages. What?
What? There's more. Like,
They're not in cages.
it is funnel, and there's been times too where even if the stories was true, it's like they knew who would get triggered by these stories or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's they've done like a. All right, okay. So I was gonna tell a story right quick. Well, I think this is where, to me, I don't know how. Some people may blame Facebook for this. Some people may not, but this is something I did come across where I was like, Facebook is too fucking powerful, and I don't think a lot of people realize how much this shit can either just shapes the world to the way it is. So like a couple years ago, right, in this country called Myanmar, it's like near India and all this other stuff.
Myanmar?
Right? Myanmar. I think it's pronounced.
That country, right?
Yeah, it's like near.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Tibet, but yeah, out there. So even though we think Facebook may be a problem in America, in Myanmar, Facebook is so popular out there that most people refer Facebook to as the internet.
Because that's the only thing they use.
Because I want everybody to understand this. They refer to Facebook as the internet. So how we over here may be like, you know what, I want to learn like to cook a meal or do something, how to fix something. I'm gonna go on the internet to go find it. Where out there in Myanmar, they see it's like Facebook is like that's their entire. Almost like the entire society is like their knowledge comes from Facebook. They're not reaching out past it. So when you say like, hey, I'm about to go on the internet, let's say if you would go out to Myanmar and be like, talk to somebody, and they'll be like, hey, I'm about to get on the internet. They're meaning Facebook. But that's how ingrained in society it is. And so,
That'll be the front page that pops up when they hit the internet.
like for every time, that's the main source of everything. And so, like the military in Myanmar, they noticed this with their country, right? This is like some years ago. It's like 2018, I think, right? They noticed this with their country where, holy fuck, everybody lives and breathes off this stuff. We want to manipulate the masses. And basically, like Myanmar's government was like, we want to create a genocide or basically just or ethnic cleansing in this country because we want to get rid of the Muslims. So the Myanmar military soldiers was getting online and creating all these different fake profiles, pretending they were celebrities, but they started doing this hate and fear mongering towards this Muslim group, which were the minorities in Myanmar. The government, the military was doing this shit all through Facebook, creating all this stuff. And some of these fake profiles that was creating would have like 1.3 million followers. People were sharing stuff.
So they would trust it, right?
And they would trust the source. And then next to it, the entire country would, unbeknowingly that they was being manipulated, started attacking the Muslims in Myanmar. Just beating them up. They was raping them, all this other stuff. And basically, it got so bad that 700,000 Muslims that was living in Myanmar, they had to uproot their lives because the entire country was trying to kill them at this point, and they had to run out the country. 700,000 like left. Basically, in a lot of ways, the military won.
How recent was this?
This is like 2018,
Holy shit.
and Facebook's been trying to cover this shit up because it's not their fault, but at the same time, it's like they should
How
have.
did you find out about this?
I be digging.
So this is not like a common thing that anybody knows?
I don't think most people know this shit. I think the
Holy
only people that know
shit.
about it was when they went to Capitol Hill, and that's why Facebook's always under so much scrutiny, because you are like, unbeknownst to yourself, Mark Zuckerberg and the rest of the think tank of Facebook, I don't even sometimes even realize they have the power of how Facebook is, where it has led to where you're not trying to control people from getting killed or trying to quell anything. You're not trying to stop. They're allowing extremist ideas to rise up on Facebook to the point where there was a genocide and ethnic cleansing, all because the military was like, you know what, we're gonna pretend we're these celebrities, and we're gonna start making people think that, hey, like, screw these people that live over in this country, these minorities, and it literally caused 700,000 like of Muslims just get them to leave. It's like, for anybody who probably still can't really comprehend it, anybody out there listening, imagine this. Imagine you live in your neighborhood and the entire state that you live in tries to kill your entire neighborhood. And you and your neighborhood have to get up and leave. Like, you see your neighbors getting killed and all that. And you and your neighborhood has to get up, you guys have to get up and leave and get across state lines just so your state doesn't kill you. That's ethnic cleansing, basically. When basically the entire system is everybody trying to kill you just because of religion or something.
Because of what they saw online.
And what they saw online on Facebook. So after all
Facebook,
this,
the way that shit is set up is to trigger people who's ever watching.
It's all about reaction, and it's trying to get the worst out of humanity. And I think right now with this whole meta thing, Facebook needed a real huge rebranding after this Facebook papers leaked and these whistleblowers came out saying that we tried to warn Mark Zuckerberg and nobody was listening. So Mark Zuckerberg's like, you know what? Fuck it. We're cleaning the slate. We're leaving old Facebook behind because it's too toxic even for them. I think it's grown out of a point. It's grown to a monster. They can't control it, and they're like, oh.
I'm surprised Zuckerberg didn't step off.
I would have got the hell out of there.
I would have got out so long time.
I would have pulled a Tom, MySpace Tom. I would have got up out of there.
Peace out. I'm doing photography.
Yeah,
now.
I'm going to do photography. Exactly. I'm going to take photos of the world, enjoy my life with my riches that I've.
Mark Zuckerberg, he was like, I'm keeping the throne.
I'm
staying here.
I'm running
for
this
the
train.
long run.
I'm running this shit into the ground, and
I'm here for a long time, not a good time.
Yes,
You know?
I'm here for a long time. Exactly.
Yeah.
But so this better thing is they need to do something at this point.
I saw this one image of Mark Zuckerberg, like running a marathon or whatever the fuck he was doing, and the only place he was sweating is in the center of his chest.
Is that what the
Everybody was like, "Was that where the
Power
Stone or whatever?"
Yeah, I was going to say that. The energy source.
The energy source. The Iron Man shit. Yeah.
The arc reactor.
Yeah.
Is that what it's at?
Why is he only sweating in the center? That's where the arc reactor is at, like giving all that heat in the middle.
Is the fluids? Is it a leak?
I was like, the internet is too funny, man.
Is he leaking?
That little simple picture, they blew that shit up, and I fucking died at work. I was like,
He needs some repairs. Like, this man is leaking.
I was like, why the rest of your body's not sweating, man?
Just this. In the center of your chest, too. That's a weird.
Android.
No armpit sweat, just.
Yeah, I'm surprised, like, with all the money that he made from Facebook and stuff, why he didn't just step away, even after he dealt with all the allegations and, Congress dealing with him and stuff, with all the spying with people, and then, he denies it. But there's fucking facts is out there, man. Like, they're spying the shit out of us.
They got you, but guess what? Here's the thing, though. I think the government's fine with that. Otherwise, why is he still free? The government's got to be cool with it.
Of course they're okay with that. They just had to make it, like, a story to tell people. Like, hey, we tried to do it.
We're on top of it.
But it's like the drug industry, like the drug shit. Like, hey, you guys got to get us some people that we can catch with drugs. Mm-hmm. But we know you guys are doing it. We're letting guys ride. But, hey, give us something that we can tell the public.
Yeah.
Same thing with Facebook. Like, hey, let's just do something because we're getting heat about this shit. So let's just do this whole...
Let's do this...
the mock trial, this fake trial.
Let's do this theatrics of...
Try to grill you and shit.
That's why a lot of people say, like, government is like theater. It's almost like... Well, I heard somebody once say that how the government tries to really stop shit is very close to WWE. Like, it's just all for show. Like,
it's all for
nothing
show.
is... They're not really trying to do anything because...
Anybody like that big, that much power, that much money?
I think it's like worth 133 billion or something.
90% of the people in that room, all on the same team.
All of them, man, getting paid out probably.
All on the same team. Jeremy in the house, he says same for XRP. Jeremy coming in hot with that XRP.
I looked at you. I was waiting for you to say something.
I don't know what he's gonna say about XRP. We weren't talking about that. Or are they dealing with that right now in court? Like, I don't know what XRP is going through.
Nah, I didn't know they have. I didn't know they was going through something anyway.
Yeah, I just have 100,000 XRP though. What? What?
Oh, it's Jeremy says
the whole thing with Ripple. Yeah.
Okay.
We're gonna take a quick break. I gotta pee so bad. We'll be right back, guys. We're gonna continue on this metaverse. We're gonna talk about NFTs too.
Yes.
Be right back. All right, guys. What's up? What's going on?
Hi, people.
All right, let's get back into the metaverse.
Let's do it.
All right, so another thing about like the metaverse, what people don't realize, like the potential as far as making money through advertising. Mm-hmm. Like, you ever heard of like people buying digital land, like virtual land that doesn't even exist? It's like a land that exists in the digital world. Like, they have the sandbox, they have decentralized land.
Yeah.
The Decentraland. I don't know how you say it, but one of the tokens, they created a whole virtual world where you can buy digital land for like thousands of dollars.
What the hell?
Right? It's like a virtual place where you can walk around, just like that PlayStation Home Network, or what Mark Zuckerberg is trying to do.
Yeah.
Trying to create like environment within the metaverse.
So then people want, more than likely, the people within the system are gonna give value to the land.
Yeah, people are already buying like chunks of land for thousands of dollars. Like, there's one big chunk of land that was bought on the Decentraland network for like almost $1 million. It's like this huge company, and they create like a shopping mall center.
What the hell?
Yeah, just for people to walk around and stuff.
Man, we about to abandon humanity.
Right.
We're about to leave this planet.
So here's why like the whole shit is valuable, like with the whole metaverse shit and the cryptocurrency and the whole NFT stuff, why the space is so valuable now, because Mark Zuckerberg, he's already thinking of the future. He knows this shit. Everybody knows this shit now.
Yeah.
Like the new generation, the young kids, they're the one that you have to look out for, because they're the one they grew up with the iPad. Yes. They grew up with the Oculus Rift and shit. They grew up with the whole digital world, so that's where they feel comfortable.
Because it's not going to work too much with our people in our generation. With the younger people, when it's like, if this is all they know technology wise, that's their target market. Even we're too old for it.
Yeah, let me give it like an example, right? So those kids, they're so used to being stuck indoors and they're seeing everything online. You know, like our generation, even generation now, Gen Z's, like we're used to going out to places where like we're driving down the street and you see a billboard for an ad. You know, we go around like train stations or whatever, we see ads for shit.
Yeah, all the time.
But the new generation, they're not out in public. They don't see ads like that. So where can they market ads?
All on the internet.
In the metaverse.
Boom.
So if you own, like, let's say, for example, you own, like, once you go into the metaverse and whatever device you're using, somebody who owns this land, they have free advertising space. Just like a billboard company. But you own that land. Like, this is your land,
Yeah.
right? You already bought that land. It's on the network that you own that shit. So you put a billboard there, you'd be like, hey, if you guys want to rent out this billboard, guess what, big companies? I'll charge you so-and-so amount of money. And then that's how that person makes money off of that little piece of land. So it's like digital real estate, but people, big advertising companies, they will pay to put their ad there.
Holy shit.
Just like real life.
Yeah, this
Like the hot spot, like whatever.
This is the main traffic
Broadway Avenue.
Yeah, like Times Square type shit.
Right.
Like
Because-
because everybody hangs out at ads.
I was watching this one video where they said like they had Elon Musk and another tech company guy. They did like an event in the metaverse in the Decentraland.
Yeah.
They had like a little speech at this one location, and now like that spot, like somebody owns that spot, big ad. Now he can fucking charge big companies like Nike or whatever if they want to put an ad up there.
Yeah, pay for ad space. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's like the hot spot now because Elon was there.
So that's basically like you buy the land and then
You buy the land, hold
just
on to the land
profit
because
off of it.
yeah, because people are gonna pay you to post like their advertising there.
Let's
This is the beginning right now,
Especially this is like the main avenue of traffic for people.
right?
And
Because
it's like,
this is
boom.
this is the beginning of making money. Like
This is the end of
the,
Earth.
the
This is
thing
it.
to get rich now. Always keep learning about this shit.
Got to.
It is crazy. All this
It's-
shit's fucking wild.
it
but
seems unfathomable.
Keep learning about it because
It's the
you don't want to be
future,
the dude like in the back of the bus, be like, oh fuck. Yeah.
Why am I stuck here? Yeah, no,
That's
real
a
shit.
while. What's up, the Germometron?
Hey, McDermott, what's good, dude?
Says they've been doing on the digital space advertising for years in movies and games.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
gig.
it's all the same thing. But this is like geared towards the younger generation when they're in the virtual world walking around because this is like their space, their
'cause-
safe space.
because they was already talking about with the metaverse is that within the next decade is going to become a thing because this shit ain't coming out within the next couple years. But it seems like they're focusing more in the next 10 years on trying to build us up, and then going forward, then it's going to be by the time this shit probably really goes into fruition or it's kind of go out to public. I'm assuming like we'll be in our 40s, and then they'll be focusing on Gen Z in their 30s now, and then people younger, and this is.
They're- I
But
think they're focusing
I think
on
they're
the-
gearing up on it though.
They're focusing on the alpha generation. See
Yeah.
how they're
Yeah.
gonna react.
Yeah.
See how it went from Z to A. A is gonna be the start of like this
New
new
one. From now for this new for this
for
new
that
generation.
new world. Like after it,
Yes,
fucks
because
up,
they're gonna go through a whole generation again.
we're gonna die.
Generation Z will probably be born in 2080 or some shit. But you know what I'm saying? Like this is the new age of man. They're not gonna know anything but technology.
Mm-hmm.
What is this? A rock? What? They're not gonna
Yeah.
know. They're not gonna know.
So if you got some like digital money, go
Get
ahead.
ready,
Go
man.
ahead and buy some digital real estate.
Get on it. Have you put in anything yet, or have you been shopping around for anything, or?
No, I'm not like that deep into it to where I'm gonna buy a digital space.
Yeah.
Maybe Jeremy is doing it. Jeremy's in that world.
Jeremy,
I
this
don't
is
know
true.
what the hell Jeremy is doing.
Don't tell us your secrets if you don't want to. I'm curious.
Jeremy is doing like NFT stuff.
Oh yeah, that's the.
But guess what? I just started on the NFTs, man.
Kind of figured we was gonna get that point.
Yeah,
figured it was going right in
I've
that
been
direction.
learning a new. It's a secret.
Then
Well,
don't
it's
tell
gonna
nobody.
be it's gonna be different style NFTs. Yeah. I'm getting into it. I spent so many hours, and I'm gonna come in hot.
Yeah,
I'm coming in hot.
Yeah, because swinging.
Yeah. I
What'd you
thought
ever say?
about this like at work in the train, like a fucking light bulb, like bloop, like it was so bright. I was like, fuck, I'm doing it.
What do you say? Yeah, Decentraland.
Yeah, the Decentraland.
What's that?
It's like this coin. Like the logo is like two pyramids.
Oh shit.
Like I got a vision like long time ago when it was worth 18 cents, and I was like, this was like after taking a mushroom trip, right? I was like, give me a sign. First thing I saw
that?
was the decentralized coin, at 18 cents. I was like, okay, I'll buy some. And now it's like
It's blown up now.
it's a lot now. Like it's like $2 something,
Damn, and you got it at 10 cents.
18 cents.
Dang, good move.
But I sold it a long time ago though. So.
Oh
Yeah.
no!
I didn't listen.
No.
I didn't listen to like the mushroom gods. They're like, all right, you about to get burned.
I thought you were still sitting on it.
No, I sold it.
That's like a horror movie.
But I bought some today, though.
Hey guys, I'm back.
He says it's a metaverse. You guys got to Google it. 3D land. Oh, yeah. There's another one. It's like called Earth Land 2, some shit. Where you're actually buying real, like somebody has like a Google map of like the Earth, and you could buy certain locations. Like you could buy your house location. You could buy like the capital of Georgia.
And virtually you can just live there?
No. You're just buying like, you just own that space in digital land. Like it's owned by you. And then it's saying like how much you bought that land for.
Damn. And they can resell it, I guess, or I guess it's gonna be like a bargaining system with digital money.
No, it's whoever wants to own the land.
Like so I'm trying to.
It's like the whole shit like with NFTs. Like you can't really exchange that for like a dollar amount. Like you can't exchange it for anything normally. Like NFTs is like it's whatever they value that shit. You can't exchange it like a balance. Like I trade you one NFT for like $5.
Man.
Jeremy says Atari has like 100,000 space on Decentraland. Yeah, like big companies, they're buying like a whole bunch of land on Decentraland, so they can market their shit. Because this is a whole breathing world where people come to.
A new ecosystem,
and
folks.
A lot of the people that has like a lot of money, they're buying all this land up, preparing for the future.
For when we can't
the digital future.
Like I was watching, because like with NFT stuff and some of the stuff that we're talking about right now, I was watching a video last night. It explained things perfectly that, hey, technology is gearing us up to the point where, because the way the world is and it's getting hotter and the weather's getting crazier, technology is evolving to a point where you ain't gotta leave the fucking house. Maybe if you want to get food, but you can have it delivered to you. But
I get DoorDash all the time.
I know a lot of people that get DoorDash. I don't.
I was like, I could have just drove there.
That's what I don't do. I don't like the taxes on that shit. But it is showing that they, and like I was talking about before with Meta and Mark Zuckerberg and all that shit. Like these tech companies are seeing the way this world is going and how. And I think COVID might have been like the best example. I think COVID. I almost had a conspiracy, but they said like with COVID, it allowed people to just like get used to staying home a little bit more. They're utilizing the internet to the point where
that might have been the fix.
Or it might be breaking the system too, because that's why so much shipments are getting backed the fuck up, because everybody's buying shit. It's like, but they're seeing the writings on the walls like, oh my God, these people don't go out shopping anymore. It's all in-house. That's why everything's getting backed the fuck up. That's why these ships are being stuck at sea and they just lines waiting in Australia for ships to do stuff. It's everybody is doing it, and it's a system that's getting overworked, I think. But they noticing the writing on the wall of, it's all about convenience. People are getting tired of being around each other. Like, grocery shopping is becoming a headache. They'd see where it's going. It's like, you know what? Eventually, people ain't gonna want to leave the house. They're gonna just buy land digitally. And it's smart. I think it's a hell of a move.
Yeah, it's new real estate. Mm-hmm. It is smart.
It's new land.
Because, come on, advertisers, they're hungry for space. They want to see the most eyes on their product.
And they probably realizing that, okay, people aren't going out anymore like that to even go to the movies. So how are they seeing billboard signs? How are they seeing all this stuff if they never leave?
Right. They're like these Gen Alphas. They're like, they're not even out here looking at our billboards. Like, where are they at? They're on Decentraland.
Yes.
They're on the Metaverse. Chilling. Like, we need to put our advertisement there. Like, this advertisement is owned by Chris Waters.
Yeah,
we gotta pay him now to put this ad here because he has like the hot spot. Like you're on like Main Street.
What is it? Prime real estate, I think is the term.
You're at you're the Rodeo Drive shit. Fucking Beverly Hills.
And they see it on what?
What's up, Katie?
Katie, what's good?
Jeremy says I was going to build an NFT art gallery on there. I've seen some good ones. Hey, Jeremy, buy the land with the art gallery, and then I'm gonna put my NFT on there. After I mint it.
This is getting
my
good.
Shit hot fire.
I'll get to you after the show.
It's like everything collected into this one moment. I can't let it slip.
Is this
the moment?
I felt it too. I was like, is this the moment where this like?
Yeah, I was like, we have to have the hottest spot in Decentraland.
Got to.
So Jeremy, you go buy that space right now. Hold on to that space, and then we're just gonna drop some hot fire there.
Just hold on a little longer.
Yeah. We are late, but you have money. Just put a couple $1,000. How much is a piece of
I guarantee y'all
a
can't
square
be,
foot? It's like 10,000 now.
I put it like this. Y'all can't be too late because I didn't even know this shit existed.
Yeah, we're not. They're not that late. We are not that late.
And there's billions of other people out there like me who did not know this shit was going on.
You know why?
So I think y'all are right.
You know we're not. You know why we're not that late?
What's that?
Nike just jumped in on this shit. They're like, we're not missing this NFT bus
they see
shit, and they're getting in the whole market with making like their assets available to people doing shit digitally. Like, let's say your avatar on Metaverse needs a Nike shirt. Guess what? Nike has an official Nike shirt you can put on your avatar. Boom.
And people will pay money for that because
yeah.
Anybody who play video games knows that how much
that shit.
The amount of money
in that world's gonna be worth more than like the real Jordans.
And you know what I think was like a good like a prototype to that is when people play video games and how much money they spent buying skins.
Yes, that's already
apply this shit to this.
Yes, they know
it could work.
The math works out. Yeah, they're like, dude, people spend this much money on skins just to try to look different. Like, imagine like the metaverse where people just fucking just chilling, but they want to look unique and shit. You know, they want to wear their own brand, whatever, Nike,
and then they
FUBU. Well, like whatever you want to wear and shit. Like there needs to be a market for everything, dude. I'm gonna make a market like I'm gonna do the Goodwill clothes, vintage style, dude.
Yo, it's gonna be this thing where these people gonna be flexing online.
Yes, and then, that's the whole idea is to flex on whatever the fuck, because that shit is on the blockchain. Whatever you own, like let's say you buy an NFT like from Jeremy. You bought it for like 10,000. Guess what? It shows that you bought that shit for 10,000, so it has value.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like people don't get like the idea, like, oh, could you just make a screenshot? Yeah, you can, but you don't own that shit. No. Let me give an example, like the Mona Lisa. You could take a picture of it. It's on your phone. Cool, you took a picture of it, but do you own it?
No.
No, you can't even sell that shit.
Fuck no. It's just
that's the big difference. Let's say you bought NFT from Jeremy. You own it. It says that you have it. You have the whole. That shit is on your wallet. You own that shit. You can sell it. Nobody else can sell it.
But you
because you bought it. Yeah, it's on the blockchain. It's all recorded. Anybody could take a screenshot, but yeah, your screenshot is not worth shit. Could you sell that screenshot? No, you can't.
Because I mean, people are like the authenticity of it is no, you took a picture of it.
Yeah,
like,
slap the Mona Lisa out. Yeah,
you're not the owner, motherfucker. Like,
it's just like that. Paintings like. You can buy a replica painting, but you're not gonna get no money off a replica painting because you don't own the original.
Man. It's like that in real life. It's like you have knockoff paintings, and it's like, man, this ain't the real legit shit.
This is the way where you get the legit shit because it's all recorded on the blockchain.
Humanity is about to abandon Earth, but via mind.
Fuck the real world.
Yo, I'm telling you, we about to get up out of here.
Yeah, we out.
This is gonna get too hot outside. People get sick of the weather. Like. I'm telling you, the world knows people are more comfortable at home on some level.
That's the world we live in now.
Damn, they won. AI has won. This is their plan the whole time.
But what's their plan when everybody is doing this shit and nobody's making food for us no more?
Oh, we're going to just starve.
Yeah, robots are going to make food for us.
That's
why they're cramming to make these robots making food automatically.
Oh,
you could run a whole restaurant with one guy.
And all like, what do you mean one guy?
Like, all he has to do is just put in, like, the food where let the robots make all the food.
Oh, yeah, they do all the shit, man. Look,
What's happening?
I had a conspiracy theory, right? Nothing violent or anything like that. Just, I've been thinking about the future sometimes, and I see when technology is forming, and I also think about, man, what would this Earth would be centuries from now? And I realized when you have stuff like CRISPR, along with, like, 3D printing, and then Facebook doing this whole metaverse thing, and everybody's trying to do virtual reality, I feel like this is just my theory. This is how humanity is going to survive going forward when this Earth is done. They're going to create robots. Robots are going to be super goddamn smart. They're going to be super intelligent. I think it was in Antarctica. They have like this little, I call it the farm, but it's a spot where they have like genetics and like everybody's DNA and all that stuff. Like how they can almost regrow humans. You got like a spot like that for like almost. I think the DNA of every animal is almost like an arc in a weird way.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna take that along with CRISPR tech and 3D printing or some other stuff and virtual reality. And I think eventually humans are going to task robots to take care of humanity going forward. So when we leave Earth, right, in a spaceship, like humanity, the future of humanity is all going to be like in little tubes and shit. It's like DNA or whatever. It's going to be all stuff. Robots going to be piloting the ship. Robots going to be monitoring to make sure everything is good. Once we get to the planet, boom, they're going to start growing humans. But using CRISPR tech, I think
everything's going to be all like automated, where we rely on robots more to do all the heavy lifting, all the thinking, everything.
And I think, and some people probably thinking, what about Meta? What does Meta have to do anything about it? I think Meta, when they launch this, is going to collect so much human data to the point where they're going to create a fucking human soul digitally, to where when you create a body with CRISPR, you're going to insert the soul that they've been testing since 2020 with Meta. Like, you'll be able to create a human 2.0, but it's all through, like, you got a CRISPR tech body digitally on the mind. It's all that data, like from Meta, that they collected on how a human response would be going forward.
Imagine how much data they've been collecting the whole time.
So many. It's so much.
They collected so much data on humans, how they react to certain posts, how they go about their lives, like to where they pin down like humans to be as super simple.
Yes.
We're not even like
we're not
that complicated. And then
you can figure us out.
You collect like billions and billions of information on people. Mm-hmm. You put this all into a computer.
Yes.
The computer learns like the behaviors of human.
The new human soul.
They can predict like what we're gonna do before we even do it. Mm-hmm. They can predict like what we're gonna do in 2 weeks from now because they know us that well.
They know us that well.
It's gonna be to that point where it's gonna be that crazy to where artificial intelligence are predicting every move to where we're not ahead no more.
Yeah, they're going to police us.
Yeah.
They're going to take care of us. Like,
they're going to tell us the shots. Like, they're going to tell us what to do.
I had a theory, and I thought about this last night. I was probably, like, super baked. But, like, we get to the planet. We land there. And then the robots are kind of like... At first, the robots are going to start building the structures and stuff like that. But then once they grow humans...
Elon bots.
Yes. Elon bots, yes.
Yeah.
X-bots, if you will.
Yeah, X-bots.
So, they're going to start building stuff at first. And then once humanity is growing out of their petri dish... They're like, get to where humans, you're going to start building
holy
the shit. And they're going to run us. We're going to be...
What if that's how Earth was created?
I'll tell you.
Holy shit.
This stuff crosses my mind of where we get put to labor.
Back to square one.
We're right back at square one on another planet.
Fuck.
It starts all over again. It's all been... I'm telling you. That,
and then like one guy's like, hey, did you guys remember to bring that Bible? Because you know how religion...
Oops.
You bring religion in the picture... Hey, that's strong, because you can't prove it or anything.
Well, maybe on the second Earth, I don't care where we move to. We're gonna call it Earth 2. But I don't care if it has like, if we go to Jupiter, Earth 2. We'll change it. That's how we are. But when we get there,
they gotta worship something.
What if they like? What if with human 2.0s, the robots gonna be like, look, guys, the religious thing, it didn't work out too well. We're gonna move forward and see what happens without it. And then if that's, I don't know. I do think they're gearing up for a so far advanced future of they're trying to set up humanity for the next phase. But
I think they're gonna use it in every situation if they're starting a new civilization.
Yeah,
they're always gonna use that God complex thing, because let's say you have all that power. Like, okay, we've been doing this shit for thousands and thousands of years. We're gonna keep doing the same pattern.
It's been working, and let's say that like the first time they started doing it, like the experiments lasted like 6 weeks.
But it's not fake though. Like it's like a real God though. Like
like a god.
Like they are like more powerful than the regular human being.
Yeah, as a robot, a regular robot would.
No, not a robot. Like something organic.
Oh, you think like an organic being that's doing this and then taking this stuff and then
like organic, like an organic intelligence.
See, I'm thinking in a weird way, like how humanity is creating robots.
My brain's about to get blown up right now.
Because I'm thinking like humanity is creating robots to be the protectors of humanity one day and to help us move to the next planet. Because when you travel to all these planets out there, the distance is so far. A human would not be able to make it anywhere near based off the distance of travel, but a robot can. Robots can. AI can run the whole ship, run everything, and then it could be 1,000 years, and humans are just in a petri dish. And once they land there on another planet, they test out the air. They're like, okay, cool. Humans can breathe like this. We got CRISPR tech. 3D printing, build the body. Let's make humans better than they were before. And also all the digital souls through Meta, like all the information we collected from data. Once we're gonna just upload them in every single body, and then we'll just drop them there, and then they do it all over again. But
I think something happened.
What do you mean?
Like with the whole like Facebook changing the meta so quickly.
It's fast. It happened like this.
I think something happened.
Something happened so fast. I'm telling you, it's a complete turnaround of what was just going on. It was going through controversy a month ago, and then it's like Meta. I'm like,
I think something happened to where they're forcing them to take like this new route. They're like, hey,
speed it up. I'm like, clock is ticking.
Shit's happening, and now they're like, okay, this is the only way we can try to fix like what's gonna happen 20 years from now. We have to get everybody used to this idea of spending most of their time in a universe that's digitally.
Yeah.
A digital universe.
Because when it comes
because the future is going to be dead anyway.
It's going to be dead. And also, too, it might be a thing where if it comes time where the earth is about to end and you got the powers that be will tell regular people like, hey, we need to upload your conscious. For the sake of humanity, we need to upload your consciousness into a system. A lot of people probably be like, man, hell no. But if you do something like Meta,
they're like, don't delete my character. I've been making him for like 3 years now, right? Because you spent all that time creating your character.
Man, imagine like 100,000 years from now, right? You and me, we're in a different Earth, and we start getting memories from doing this podcast, but we're in a completely different body. We were growing and remember all this shit. But it's like almost like a different reality in a weird way. Oh my God. I do think this is all a build up for Human 2.0.
Yeah.
This is all. They got all the ingredients.
I'm gonna take a quick break. Then when we come back, I'm gonna talk about this new Mandela theory.
Oh yes, hell yeah.
Be right back, guys. All right, we back, guys. Hey, where's Bob? Can somebody get Bob in the chat?
Where's Bob at?
Get Bob on here, man. We're supposed to be doing an alien event in a few weeks.
Yeah, we're back from vacation, Bob. You got to be back on the show.
She's sleeping. What is she off? Yeah.
I'll wake her up. Oh no.
Wake her ass up. Powerbomb her or something.
Let her rest. I don't want to wake her up. Let her rest.
No, we're gonna wake her up.
I just say
life is short.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. That is true. She worked third shift. Oh man, yeah, third shift is horrible.
Hey, she chose that path. She chose that path.
My friend Christina, who's probably watching right now, just texted me. Yo, I want to know how to summon aliens.
CE5 protocol.
Hi, Christina. Also, she's the one. Shout out to Christina for buying Media Hijack shirt.
Thank you.
She got it too. She got the shirt. She got the shirt.
I remember seeing the order. I was like, this has to be one of Chris' people.
Chris has a cult, I think.
Because it says like Minnesota.
Minnesota.
I was like, oh, this is Chris' people.
He knows somebody from there.
Yeah, that's Chris' people. Thank you for purchasing.
Yes. I really do appreciate it. It's little stuff like that.
Oh, yeah. All right, let's start on this new Mandela theory.
All right.
So a long time ago, 2009. So 2008 was when CERN first turned on the Hadron Collider.
They cranked it on.
They cranked it up. They turned on the machine and boom, smashed atoms, right? The only goal was them to find the God particle, which is the particle that they said created the whole
everything, the Big
universe,
Bang.
the Big Bang theory. Yes. Like they were trying to recreate the Big Bang. And they did it. And they found the particle that they needed, the Higgs boson. The dude that he has the theory of it, and then actually it's proven right. Like everything he said was correct.
Like the Big Bang is.
They found whatever created like fucking humanity. But there's a story online, right? So there's like a transcript written online. Somebody who worked at a facility. They never said the facility was CERN. He just said he worked at a research facility, and he had like transcripts of every like encounter with whatever they encounter, like when they turned that machine on for the first time.
Yeah.
Because a long time ago, like maybe 2010, I heard rumors that when they turned on the machine, they came across like interdimensional beings that came from the other side.
Oh.
But this was just like stories like, oh, anybody could have made that story up. Fast forward to today, this transcript document, right, that was posted online they post on like they call it the paste bin, where you can actually post up any document you want, and then it'll generate a link for you online, and then if you click on that link, it shows your whole document that you type up.
Holy
So
shit.
it's not even like a site like Reddit or anything.
Yeah, it's just,
it's just a Word document that it creates a link for your Word document.
Oh, okay.
So this dude that works at this facility, right? He posted in 2019 because he doesn't work at the facility no more. But everything that he posted was from things that happened in 2009, like after CERN turned on the Hadron Collider. Right. So he posted in 2009 because he felt like so guilty. He felt like the people need to know the information about what they gather from this interdimensional traveler that came from another dimension.
Yeah.
Because he said that when they turned on that machine, somebody actually came out from that machine and told them like, "Hey, let me tell you what you guys are doing.
Let me talk to you for a second, man.
Let me tell you what the fuck you guys are doing." So I'm trying to put all these pieces together because I did heard about it, them contacting something that's interdimensional. And they even have like a little picture. I can't even find that picture online no more. You know how the internet, like, I don't know.
It just scrapes shit. Like,
Yeah, it takes like images that put them all the way to the back shelf where you can't even find that shit on Yahoo no more.
Page one. It's like
Yeah,
most people stick to page one now.
Yeah, so the dude, he came in 2009, right? He told them like, "Hey, like, you know what you guys are doing? Like what you did here? You guys created like a puncture in your own universe." Because he's saying how the universe, how like dimensions work, right? Like our own dimension, we're in a bubble next door to like a whole bunch of other dimensions that's in bubbles,
Okay.
like a membrane.
Okay.
Like imagine our universe, and then our next door, our parallel universe,
Yeah, the multiverse.
and they're all in bubbles, right? So when they first turned on the Hadron Collider for the first time, it weakened the walls of the bubble. So the bubble got weak in 2008.
Okay.
So after the bubble got weak, right, they said that it actually got punctured in 2011, where there was actually a little hole. So imagine like
Punctured it.
CERN. They turned it on again.
CERN itself. Oh, okay.
Yeah, they turned it on again.
I'm thinking something was breaching it. I was like, oh god,
Yeah.
what's here?
So imagine like a bubble, our dimension, a bubble, and then it has a little hole in it, and now another dimension is seeping into our dimension.
Yeah, it's called like a convergence. I saw that in comic books.
Yeah.
It's weird shit like that when like shit starts happening. You're like, time's kind of wonky now. And
Yeah, so we're seeing like, so now like the two dimensions are trying to like balance out. Like imagine like cold air, hot air. There's one door in the middle. Door opens up. Cold air, hot air. Try to mix and
crazy tornado.
Not tornado, but try to balance out.
Oh, okay.
So this been happening ever since 2011, where like our world is blending in with another reality because the bubble is open,
ruptured,
right?
yeah.
So that's why we're seeing a lot of weird anomalies, like the Mandela effect. But they didn't mention that in the transcript. He was just saying like you guys are gonna see like weird anomalies where you guys are gonna be disputing like history, like things like that happened in the past is not the same that's happening now.
Like it did happen, but
Yeah, because there's two different realities.
I think I'm about to be a nerd for a second. There's a term for it. It's called like retcon, which is like retroactive continuity. It's like in comic books, right? You have like a set story about how this character exists and where this character is now. And there's sometimes within the continuity of this character's existence, say like Batman, they'll go back and then writers will be like, okay, we'll implement something like right here before, like something we've never discussed or talked about before, but we're going to just slide this in. It's almost like a weird Mandela effect in comic books. And then everybody just accepts it like, okay, it's always been this way.
Right.
But it's inserting like new things in past stories that and in all honesty, it doesn't fit within the story that they already explained from beginning to what it is present day. But sometimes they'll go back like, hey, this is what happened like 10 years ago. We never talked about a Batman story ever, but it's happening now, and this is how it's going to be. It's kind of like that. Like, to me, that's how I'm kind of seeing it as. It's like, it's inserting, like, with this breach in the universe
Yeah.
that we have that is now it's melding with another universe. It's changing the past, and there's some people who will be like, it's always been like this, and other people's like, nah, something's obviously off with it.
Something's wrong.
Yeah, you catching some. You notice some shit is not what it used to be.
Something is definitely wrong, like in our reality, because a lot of the movie quotes, it doesn't even make sense anymore. Like the most famous one, Star Wars.
Yeah.
Luke, I am your father.
Yeah.
He doesn't even say that. He says
no. He does say it now.
He says no.
No, I am your father.
Yeah, I'm like, what?
That's how. Hey, look, that's.
You skipped the Luke part.
And it's gotten to a point where, hey, if you believe that, hey, Luke, I'm your father. If you believe that, you don't matter anymore.
Yeah.
Like this is the new world
So
now.
that could be like one anomaly that happened, like when the two different realities are seeping into each other, because like I said, like we're like bubbles. The bubble was weakened and then it was punctured, and then another reality like seeped in, a reality that's almost identical to ours, but not quite.
But not quite. It's little things that's off when it happens. It's never going to be anything too drastic.
Right.
I mean, it can be something drastic, and honestly, if this holds up to be true, despite the fact that some things have changed, we are hella lucky. This is the most we getting, just like Bernstein
It's
Bears.
not over yet, though.
But that's the problem, though. This is
I'll
still
get to that crazy part.
Yes, okay.
Yeah. So like I said, this document, like it was all recorded from 2009. Like the dude told him everything that was gonna happen. He even said like, okay, the coronavirus, like you guys are gonna deal with the virus. He also said that in 2020 we're gonna deal with a lot of volcanic activity. And now if you look at Spain, like today, 2021, Spain is they have like a volcano in Spain that's fucking blowing up right now. Which is where that dude was at, that time traveler guy, Unigo Sobreviviente.
Oh,
he's in Spain.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, so his out there. But you know how he's in a different reality? He don't see the volcano.
Yeah.
Like we see it.
He on a different earth.
He's
done the same shit.
Yeah, and then he keeps saying his CGI, but I was like, dude, this dude cannot fake all this shit.
He missed the mark. I think whatever coordinates they set in, he overflew it. Like he went past us.
But like this story, it kind of ties into his story. And it's completely different sources, and I'm just putting it all together. And I was like, holy shit, this shit's making sense now. So like, the guy is saying the dimensional traveler, he came from a different dimension that's normal, like our dimension.
Yeah.
There's nothing special about him. They just figured out how to travel between dimensions. So they're saying like, okay, so are you from our future? Because this is the dude like on our Earth, the scientist, like, are you from our future? It's like no. It's like, you guys got to get that time travel shit out your head. Because he's saying like it's not physically possible for you to time travel in your own dimension. Like you cannot go back in time and look at the Gettysburg Address.
Yeah, it's already happened.
Yeah, it's already happened in your dimension. He says, but you can step out of your dimension,
go to something else,
and go to a different reality at like 1927 into the reality at a different time and see the Gettysburg Address.
It is very similar to ours. But
it's almost identical to ours, but it's a different. It's like a different Earth. But it's not our Earth.
Yeah,
it's the whole shit like with Dragon Ball, like Trunks.
There you go.
Remember Trunks think like, oh, he could travel back in time and then stop Cell and shit. Yeah. But he goes back to his world. It's still fucked
same.
Up.
Yes, because it's basically like he didn't time travel so much because you can't change time or what happened. The only thing you do is travel to a parallel universe similar
to a different. Yep.
Yes, very similar. Go. And so you can change the outcome of this world, but you can never change what's happened in the world that you came from
because it already happened.
Because you can't control. Time travel is almost impossible. It's a lot of ways.
And I'm getting to that point where I'm not with the time travel thing no more.
Really? Oh, I want to hear it. Okay, because I've always been kind of like iffy with the time travel, but that's why I went to like multiversal. I'm like, yo, it's the possibilities. Time travel is very linear sometimes, but it's messy. But
he's saying like you have to get rid of the idea that time travel is linear because it's not.
Yeah,
it
branches off like
in our world. In our world,
in our existence, yes.
Yeah, but you cannot go backwards in our world.
Yeah,
like if you want to go watch Woodstock, right? You have to go to a completely different dimension.
Earth, yes, you
gotta go a different dimension in a different time because it's happening somewhere else already.
Going through their own timeline,
right?
And it'll be very similar to ours if you want it.
Similar.
It could be worse.
Yeah, so he's saying like get the idea of the time travel. He's like wherever I'm from, like his Earth is completely different from our Earth. Yeah. He was telling the dude, he was like, yeah, like me coming to this past, right? It's like, this is not even, you guys are not even my people. He's like, I'm here to try to figure out what the fuck happened, what happened at the puncture of when you guys turned on CERN Hadron Collider. They're trying to figure it out so he can go back to his dimension and be like, okay, we have to do something different, whatever. Because he's trying to figure out like what happened at the beginning of when they turned it on. He didn't came back to save us. He could give a shit about us. He just came back to be like, okay, let's see what actually happened. So he didn't came back to save us. Like he came back, he saw them do the whole Hadron Collider. He saw them, he watched them turn it on, and he was like, okay, let's see what the fuck happened. So he's trying to figure out, because he probably did this in a whole bunch of other dimensions too.
The same scenario.
The same shit, like where he was like, okay, they do it kind of different than what those other 10 dimensions that I went to. So he's trying to figure out like what the hell happened.
What's off?
Yeah, like, okay, this dimension did it a little bit different. They did it on like the 12th instead of the 11th. And I don't know, that might change some shit. But
because it could be something that's like where everybody exactly is who they are. Like this person was a black scientist, a white scientist. Like everything is almost perfectly aligned, but the day is different type shit. Like it's all but little shit like that.
Yeah, so they told him all the information to like these scientists at CERN, and then the dude, he wrote everything down. That's why he got all the transcripts, and then he posted like half of the transcript online, thinking like when he posted in 2019 that he's gonna get in trouble for that shit. But little do he know, the internet don't give a fuck.
Hell no. God.
2019, like, man, you sound fucking crazy saying there's an interdimensional traveler.
I bet you voted for Trump. Like, he probably got dragged. There's no way we're trying that shit. Man.
Yeah, so the dimensional traveler, he came back just trying to find information on why, like, what could possibly trigger the event to where they can prevent it or change some shit in their dimension. But he told the dude so much information. Like, he told them that the coronavirus was going to happen. He told them that there's going to be a time where, there's going to be a lot of false information that's going to happen. Yeah. Because he's been through so many dimensions. Like, you guys all do the same shit. He's like, every single dimension built a Hadron Collider. He's like, you guys keep doing this. It's like, you guys all did the same shit. Like, every one of these dimensions, they built a Hadron Collider. They ran that shit and then blew it up.
It's the most consistent thing that's happened in humanity is the Hadron Collider.
It's something big that it carries on in every dimension. Yeah. Then he was saying how, like, in politics, there's going to be a lot of fake news, right? He said this in 2009. Like, it's going to be a lot of fake news, not from only normal people, but from politics, from, big government, from even social media, even, like, the news. There's going to be a lot of fake stuff that's going to happen. He says you're going to see, like, a lot of anomalies that's going to happen. Like, letters like in front of us changing before our eyes. Like, let's say you're looking at like a quick trip sign, right? And then the Q was changing to a Z. Like you'll see it happening before your eyes. Z-tip. Yeah, he's saying, what the fuck? Yeah, that's when like shit really hit the fan. But he's saying like one of the big things that's gonna happen. He's saying like in most of the dimensions, it happened in 2025. I'm not saying it's going to happen with us in 2025, but he said like in like 10, 20 different dimensions in 2025, the big event happens, which is when, the bubble, the membrane of our dimension,
it's done.
It really fucking rips open. So it rips open into a 3-day event in 2025.
You said a 3-day event?
A 3-day event where everything is fucked up. Like the buildings, like if you go out and look at the buildings, they're in different directions. Which means like when the buildings are changing directions, right? They're popping in and out of different locations. They're destroying everything. Yeah. Like it's like chaos. He's saying like it's going to be a time where people's going to think like it's all a dream. And the government's going to think like, oh, we're being under attack. But then me and you would be like, oh, it's a fucking dream. These buildings are not supposed to be
like some people
morphing into each other.
It's going to be one of the things, I guarantee it's going to be an event where most people don't realize it. And the few that do are going to look crazy as shit. Like, man, these buildings was like, hey, this is gonna be crazy.
Buildings sticking out from like the fucking wall. Like, what the fuck?
And think about, it's always been like this. Like, no, it hasn't. Like, it hasn't always been like this. Like, why are you? You make me think I'm crazy. You're gaslighting me. Stop.
Yeah, he's saying like 2025 is gonna be like the year that the big event happens.
Oh my god!
But you know how all
40.
this shit with
people. I will be 40. Let's go.
But you know what? What's crazy about this transcript? You cannot find this shit anywhere. So none of this information, like, good luck trying to find this shit. Like, I came across it accidentally through like a different podcast. They didn't give like Their
no
sources.
sources, nothing. It's
Yeah,
just
but they're like they're kind of like our podcast. They dig deep into all this stuff like that, and
it's like, let's run it.
I never heard the story like that being told like
No, this is new to
a
me.
dimensional traveler where they actually told them like, hey,
I kind of figured like if I, at least with the Hadron Collider, if it had something to do with time, I'm a big believer of the multiverse. If a religion were to start up right now and be like, praise the multiverse, brothers and sisters, I join that shit. That's how much I believe the multiverse exists. That realistically, I believe that shit is real.
yeah, he said that like there's gonna be like, oh yeah, like I said, like how they're gonna be fighting about like the history, how Lincoln got shot at this place or he got shot at that place. Like everything's gonna be so mixed up. Memories are gonna be fluctuated. Like nobody can agree on one thing about like the history. Like here's one thing. Like I don't know a lot of you guys know, but I found like some pictures. Like like in elementary, high school, whatever. We like had a fair share learning about World War I, World War II, right?
Yeah.
Like you ever heard of dazzle ships? You have, right? Dazzle ships.
No, I don't remember that.
What's crazy about dazzle ships, like I recently found out about this, but apparently it's been around since World War One.
Maybe it has.
Yeah, according to
What? Not
yeah.
look.
And I never once saw this shit. I never saw this shit in my life.
It's always been there, man. That's how this time travel shit works.
Yeah, what's funny about it, right? I started looking it up
It's always
today.
been there. I don't know what it is.
I was looking it up today at work, right? I typed in dazzle ship. And there's like videos like 4 or 5 years ago where they talk about the whole history of dazzle ship. I'm like, what the fuck is all this shit? And then I started reading the comments, right? The comments, they know nothing about Mandela effect. They were just like I read one comment, it's like, man, I took so many history classes. I paid attention. I watched all these documentaries, and I never heard of this dazzle ship. He was like, thank you for sharing that information. I learned something new today. Then I was like, that's when I realized this shit never fucking existed. Even like people in the comments like, I never fucking heard of this shit.
But you know what's gonna happen? The people saying like, I never knew dazzle ships were real. It's slowly gonna morph to, I always knew they was real.
Yes, and I got pictures. So yeah, I got pictures.
This shit's gonna morph into something.
I got
nasty.
pictures, and then
What's a dazzle ship? I want to see this.
okay, this is like World War One shit where they painted all this fancy stuff on these ships, to do the camouflage thing. I understand that part,
Okay.
but I never seen it in books that looks like this. Like, let me give you an example. If you guys are
I'm about to
watching,
laugh.
here's one.
And when?
They
What
did stuff
year
like
is
this.
In what year? This is for anybody who's just getting here.
This is like a recent picture taken of one of these ships. Here's
an
another
older-
one.
that's an older ship,
There's
too.
an older ship. They painted ships like this. You ever see this in your books?
Man, a child would know this.
How did we
A child in school would have
How did we
known
miss this?
Because it was all gray when we was growing up, right?
Look,
These gray
look,
ships.
look, 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 look.
Oh, like the
They've
Titanic.
been doing this dazzle shit.
Look at that.
They made it like so colorful and everything, and they've been doing it. And there's one that looks like a zebra, but I ran out of
No,
places.
that looks like a fucking tag right there. Like,
yeah,
you know
like
what's-
they made it like really colorful. But these are the ships like they used in the World War One, World War Two to trick the enemies.
to make
But
undetected.
yeah, to make them undetected. I was like, but I never seen pictures of them looking like this, like
Man,
this dramatic.
Yeah, no, we always see them like gray big
Yeah,
ass
like
ships. Even in
gray-
movies, even
gray
in
ships.
movies, even
Yeah.
in movies, it's
So-
always been gray.
If you were to look up dazzle ships and they show all the ships from World War One, World War Two, it looks all like this crazy shapes, funky, artistic shit. I was like, what the fuck? Like, I don't remember this in history books or anything.
People had style like that back then. And that's actually I like the style of it. Like some.
Yeah, I understand like why it can trick people, but I was like, I don't remember ever seeing any images of these ships looking that fucking
Man, I watch a lot
like
of
they had a.
take it from. I watch a lot of history shit. A whole lot. Like
I
I
never seen nothing like that, right?
never. I used to watch History Channel when I was a teenager, to where I used to wake up like 6 o'clock in the morning before school. This is like I'm in high school. I'm getting older. I'm learning, but not from school. I'm learning from TV. But there used to be a show on History Channel I used to like wake up to at 6 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning. It was called like Wild West Tech. It is like just technology used in the Wild West. Like I used to watch so much history shit just growing up, and I've never seen dazzled
I never.
ships. That is new. I'm going with.
Yeah, I even asked somebody at work that was like born in like the 30s. I was like, hey, you ever heard of dazzle ships? It's like, the fuck? The fuck you talking about?
Dazzle what?
Call me like red blood and shit. Red bone or what? I was like, hey,
What?
man, I just want to know if you know about these Dazzle chips. Because I'm trying to figure out, like, do people even know about this?
No, man.
It's like it came out of nowhere. I was like, our whole
is-
reality is fucked.
And then if you go against it, you don't look crazy.
Yeah.
It never existed. Yeah, it has. Like, oh.
Dazzle chips. Let me see. Oh, yeah, that's been around. Duh, it's been around since World War One.
You fucking weirdo. Why are you trying to be so weird?
Yeah, but it's saying like in 2025, there's going to be like the dark. No, actually, let me back up a little bit.
Okay.
Because he came there like 2009, right?
Yeah.
He gave him all the information, and then he says, "Hey, like if everything's cool, I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna come back March 2020 to visit you guys, see if everything is okay."
Okay.
If you look up what happened March
COVID.
2020,
COVID. That's when shit started getting locked down.
March 2020, March 1st actually was when they had the first confirmed case in New York
Of COVID?
of COVID.
Yeah.
Happened in March 2020, which is the day that this dude's supposed to come back. So he came back to a fucking shut down city. He came back, it's like, did it happen? It's like, look outside. Nobody's outside.
I don't think we was in full straight up shutdown at the time though. But that was
Yeah, you're
when
right.
that was the beginning phase of oh
but it was
my
happening.
god. Last year was so weird. If you look back on it, it seems almost alien like of how this
Yeah, it's weird.
shit was just dead. Like the world stopped.
Yeah, a lot of weird stuff started happening. Like you started seeing like I would see like ghost videos, right? Where it looks so legit. Like the people, like I saw this one video where the kids were so scared to go into a room.
Yeah.
It's like super legit video. They're screaming. The dad was like, "What the fuck are you guys screaming about?" You know, he's like, "Let me go check." He went to go check the room. There's a fucking ghost just standing there, like it's nothing. And then the way he freaked out was authentic because
That was
the dude
legit.
bounced. Like
Legit
all you
fear.
saw was the shadow of the ghost, and then the
Done.
camera's on the ground.
Done. Like why
The
would you stick
dude is
around?
like, "Fuck this shit." He was like more scared than the kids. I was like, "What the fuck?"
Because when you're
That broke his reality.
because when you're a kid, you're more braver because you don't understand how death works. When you're an
Yeah.
adult, when you're older,
You're
you're like,
adult, like-
this is gonna hurt. Like,
Yeah, you're
I'm
adult.
out. This
You
is
know,
gonna
like
happen.
you
This
know,
is
like
gonna hurt.
hey, 2 + 2 is 4. That person not supposed
Evil.
to be there.
The kids gonna be like, oh, my best friend.
The
Like,
fucking
they don't get it. Okay. Katie Long says in the chat, sure, there is a reason they don't use Dazzle designs post World War One, and I get it. You get obliterated, especially right now. They got all types of technology that can track you down. This shit would be so loud, but back then,
Now we got cloaking devices, right?
hey, look, I sometimes think
Did you guys see that submarine? What submarine?
How do these soldiers end up in this village? They opened up a portal and they walked in. Like,
Yeah.
that's
You guys see that warship? What warship?
Like for anybody who's a video game head, and actually not video game head, that is a Metal Gear Solid 3 fan, and he knows that when you're playing Snake in the game, and you can change the outfits and shit to deal with camouflage. Some of those boats look like 1960s, 1950s camouflage of like
Yeah.
changing an outfit, where it's like it doesn't really work in reality, but it somehow worked at one time. Just weird color mixing of whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, I would imagine it working like back then because if you're looking through like goggles or whatever, right? You're confused. Like, what the fuck are you looking at? Because you know everything is all pixelated.
Yeah.
You don't know if that's a boat or
Yeah,
whatever.
you're
like,
already tripping because you're flying a fucking plane. Like this, that's
Right.
got to be tough enough in itself.
like it does make sense. Like in like a
It would throw vision off, like for real. You're
yeah.
like, what am I
like,
looking
I'm
at?
Sure, they're doing that today, but like I'm saying, like all the history that we studied in school, I've never once ever seen a ship
Ever.
painted like that. Usually we just see them painted gray or whatever, or black and white. I never see these funky ass designs looking like
Ever.
zebras, looking like fucking Van Gogh's up in there and shit.
Man, no.
Michelangelo.
Some of them paintings look amazing for like the time it came from. I didn't know
Yeah, there's like
human
way other.
thought
Yeah,
could even.
there's so much other photos where like, oh damn, like this shit looks crazy. But I only got those 4 photos for you guys.
That was good for me.
With the listeners, if you guys want to come look at it, visit our YouTube. Check out the video.
Yes. Check out the video on YouTube. Or look it up yourself. Dazzle ships. That is amazing. I never knew. And I was in the military. I didn't even learn about this in the military. No military history I learned.
Yeah, start asking everybody if they knew about Dazzle ships.
I'm gonna ask people that was in the military if they knew anything about Dazzle ships. And I'm like, well, but we were all a part of the system.
Yeah.
How do you not know?
But yeah, at the end of the day, we can all thank CERN for whatever they're doing out there. Their science experiment, ripping a hole through our dimension. Like,
I'm gonna wait to see how this ends before I thank them. This is some shit is too scary for me. Like,
I'm being sarcastic.
oh, I thought
I'm
you
not
was being real.
thanking them. Like, they
I
fucked
fell
up
for
our
it.
whole reality, dude.
I fell for it. I thought you was being serious.
Come on, like Logan Paul fighting Mayweather.
What?
That doesn't happen in our real reality.
Why is
In a real reality, that's illegal. That doesn't happen.
like, most people would not be happy about that?
Yeah, you have to be in
it's a-
boxing for like 10 years before you can even fight somebody like that. Then work your way up the ranks. You can't just make a YouTube video and become famous and then the kids like you. And if the kids like you, you get fight them. You get to fight Mayweather.
I showed a dead body in a Japanese forest. I actually got canceled, but did it and survived, and probably got more popular. And then
That only happens if the dimensions are diverging.
see, he did it right before cancel culture went up in like full gear, so he got lucky. He missed that shit. But I mean, in all honesty, though, out of respect for him and his brother, they figured out a way to capitalize on something that they knew was not going to last that much longer. Like, their audience probably on YouTube is getting older. They're probably getting less views. They're probably like, we have to do something bigger. And they just moved on to boxing.
I think they did.
But I still think it's a glitch in time. I mean, I'm not disputing that. I just, based off this new timeline, I'm just basing it. You know what I'm saying? If that makes
Yeah.
sense. This is how they moving.
Wait, let me give you one information.
Yeah.
So the puncture that started the whole membrane thing, where the membrane got punctured, they call it the MDE event, which
like
stands
a
for a
drug.
mass divergent event,
Ooh.
which is when two different dimensions
Realities
Starts-
together.
coming together, seeping through one another. That's when you start seeing anomalies.
Divergent event. Hell yeah. That's like on a mass scale.
Now we're seeing a lot of weird shit happening. We can't explain it. We can sit here and say all day it's all CGI. But at the end of the day, like,
Do we know?
what, like, let me ask anybody that do like 3D animation and stuff. Learn that shit for yourself and see how many people actually can do this shit.
Most
It's
people-
very hard.
It's fucking.
It's very hard, and I
incredibly
did,
difficult.
Yeah, I work with like After Effects. Even before I started doing 3D stuff, I worked with After Effects. I did all the shit with Premiere. I know how difficult it is to mass, shit out of like the scene and stuff. It's hard. It's very hard.
A lot of
And
shit.
then you see all these crazy videos of people like recording stuff like a broom. I'm like, man, this guy.
Like, most
he
people
did
would
not.
not.
He
do
did not.
this.
I don't think he went to school to learn stuff like this because it's hard.
It's either
It's
like
not like an easy shit that you can just whip up on the computer like you put a filter on and then you can see a floating broom.
like,
It's
hey, I'm
not-
gonna turn on the computer and just alter this entire video.
right.
Boop, 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 boop. No, it's some things
It's
are
like-
kind of.
Like anybody who designs anything like with 3D, if you're doing something like legit, you're not gonna use it to waste your time trying to make like a viral video.
You're gonna make a fucking movie. Or
Yeah,
something.
because you wasted all that
Yes.
time and you're like, what the fuck? And then your video don't go viral or whatever.
Unless not saying I'm disagreeing with that, but unless there's a new wave of where people start to realize, like, I could probably get my work out there if I create something that seems so real, people believe it. That's a possibility, but
Yeah,
for the
but it
most
gets
part-
shared by like different people.
Yeah, and eventually people will call it out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, people will catch it.
No, it gets shared by so many different people. Like, okay, who's the original creator?
And yeah, track it down.
It gets all mixed up, and you don't even know
Because
You
it becomes a game of telephone.
don't- Ain't nobody trying to waste 30 hours creating a fucking fake broom just for some bullshit. Yeah, that's where I start looking into it. I'm like,
you
okay,
better-
you actually have to be like working with stuff like that to make you understand. Like, okay, who would waste that much time on this
Yeah.
for what?
Like, they could have got a 9 to 5 job.
Right.
Why are you blowing it away on?
Like yesterday, I was like creating like just like a piece of cheese, and it took me like an hour to do it.
NFT cheese?
And I was just making cheese. It took me 1 hour. I'm like, why would I make something fake to trick somebody? I was like,
It's cheese.
yes.
It's
Okay, we have to end this.
Yeah, I got to pee too. So bad.
All right, guys. Thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight.
Yes, love you guys. You guys were awesome tonight. Thank you.
Kate Long says Blair Witch at one point. was thought to be real.
Yes, I thought Blair Witch was real, and I'm from Maryland. I thought Blair Witch was real. And that
Wait,
shit
that's where it happened?
yeah, it's at Bakersfield, Maryland. I think it was.
Damn.
I'm from Baltimore. It's a different world between Baltimore and Maryland. But hey, McDermott yells, yeah, love you, man. Thank you for
Adios,
showing
dude.
up.
Peace out.
But what Katie Long saying with Blair Witch, yes. At one point, I thought it was real when I was younger, and I lived in Maryland, but
I thought it was real too because I was a kid.
yeah. Come on, 99. So
I was like, this camera,
14,
like
15?
the movement of the camera looks so real. Like they really recorded
people
this?
crying. This shit's boring. Real life is boring. I believed it was real because the movie was boring.
This was before YouTube. This before people started recording themselves doing stuff.
Yes.
This is like this Blair Witch was like the beginning of like blogging,
And that was it, man. That was the beginning of like
video blogging,
handheld camera of horror movies, like Paranormal
Yeah.
Activity type shit. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. That was the start. Get you a Blair Witch. All right, guys. We'll catch you guys next week. Oh, topic for next week. Have you ever heard of? I have something. Have you ever heard of Omega Agency?
No, but I will look it up now after. That sounds awesome.
Yeah,
It
it's
sounds like
like
X-Men shit.
It's like beyond like Illuminati.
What?
It's
There's
like that.
more?
It's like an agency like beyond everything.
So that's the topic?
Yeah,
Let's run it.
it's called Omega Agency.
I can't wait.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
sounds like insane.
Yeah, so we're gonna do that next week. So we'll catch you guys next week. Peace out.
See you guys.
Adios.
Love you.